Most agency owners have no idea where their next sales call is going to come from. And so many fail because they try to master too many lead gen channels at once. They're posting on social media, hoping something sticks. They are sending cold DMs that get ignored by everybody. They are running ads that attract people who aren't serious, never show up to sales calls, or simply can't afford their services. You don't know who I am. My name is Gil Valerio, and I built my agency to over $500,000 in monthly revenue, and I sold it for 7 figures. And I never once worried about where my next sales call was coming from because I created a system that generated 20 plus qualified calls every single week. Not leads, not inquiries, qualified sales calls with people who could afford $5,000 or even $10,000 monthly services and were interested in buying from me. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact system that I used so that you can fix your lead generation right now. So the biggest mistake that agencies make is spreading themselves too thin when it comes to their acquisition and lead generation. They try to tackle multiple channels all at once. Paid ads, cold emails, direct messaging, cold calling, and often they don't commit to a single channel. And the main reason behind this is that when they don't see immediate results, they just jump into another channel that seems less risky or lower cost. So they move from paid ads to cold email to direct messaging to cold calling and so on. Repeat the cycle. And this approach is detrimental because each channel requires significant volume and iteration to get it to work, to get it to succeed. And so when you dabble in multiple channels without fully committing, you never truly master any of them. You end up running each channel mediocrely, and none of them yield great results. Ultimately, it's not the channel's fault. It's not that the channel doesn't work. It's that you haven't stuck with it long enough to figure it out. What actually works is this. You pick one channel for lead generation and commit to it fully. Now, I'm biased towards paid ads because that channel is the only one that consistently can drive in 15 to 25 or even 30 or even 50 high ticket deals each month once you truly figure it out. So here's my simple rule. You commit to one channel, you stick with it until you've mastered it and are consistently generating leads and deals, and you only then delegate it to your team. And once your team and your systems can replicate that success, then and only then do you give yourself, or did I give myself, permission to remove myself from that and then move on to the next lead generation channel. So the main system that consistently generated me 20 plus calls every week and ultimately 15 to 25 high ticket deals every single month was paid ads. And the reason paid ads outperformed all other channels twofold or threefold: first, there's an extremely large and consistent audience that you can reach. And second, once you really figure out paid ads, once you crack the code, they become the most reliable, scalable channel out there. So I choose paid ads because once you master them, once you figure it out, you can stop worrying about where sales appointments and deals are going to come from in your agency. The problem that most agencies face is they don't have all of the essential elements in place to run successful paid ads. They might throw up a basic ad and expect instant results. Paid ads requires a well-defined offer, a clear niche and a target avatar, a reliable fulfillment system, and consistent and congruent messaging across your funnel. It's not that paid ads don't work. It's that agencies often fail to implement these critical components and they think they don't work. Additionally, once you have paid ads dialed in and they are generating 15 to 25 deals monthly, the next step that I move on to is enterprise level partnerships. These partnerships can be a game changer, allowing you to reach multiple potential clients through one large partner, significantly increasing your reach and your efficiency. However, it is important not to move on to partnerships until you have figured out and cracked paid ads and they're working. Once you have that foundation, enterprise partnerships can help you scale even further. By the way, if your agency has not yet implemented either of these acquisition systems successfully, paid ads or enterprise level partnerships, we have successfully set them up in our own agencies and for over 100 other agency owners. If you want to learn how we can install this system in your agency in just 14 days, click the first link in the description to find out more. So here is how you set both systems up. First, you are going to focus on paid ads and paid ads only. Do not waste your time dabbling in other channels until we have a solid foundation for predictable lead flow and acquisition in place. So first, you need to identify your target audience. Trying to target everyone and anyone is a mistake because paid ads are too competitive and you won't yield real results. Instead, you want to clearly define your target avatar, your niche, and your ideal client profile, your ICP. Your ads should be specifically targeted towards these defined groups, towards your avatar. And once you know your audience, your niche, who you're working with, you are going to create a results-based offer tailored to that target avatar. And after that, you will decide on the system that will deliver the promised result or the offer. Everything, all of this is interconnected. Your avatar, your offer, and the system that fulfills that offer's promise. With these elements in place, you then develop your ad copy and your creative around your offer and around your niche. Your funnel, your landing pages, and your nurture sequences should all align with your messaging. The key is to set all of this up the right way, because if it is done properly, paid ads will work. And once they are working and you're successfully closing deals, now you can begin to scale your ads. And the most important metric to track is the ratio of your customer acquisition cost, your CAC, to your lifetime value, LTV. And if this ratio is above 3-to-1, then you are generally in a good position to scale your ads. If it's 5-to-1 or 7-to-1, you are in an excellent position. In fact, it would be irresponsible to not spend more money on paid ads. Now, if it's below 3-to-1, you need to either lower your CAC or increase your LTV. All right, step number 2 is budget. The budget, or the amount of money you decide to spend, is crucial. In today's competitive environment, at least at the time that I recorded this video, a minimum of $100 per day is necessary. Ideally, you should spend at least $200 per day to reach a large enough audience and generate sufficient traffic for actual conversions. All right, so once we have your budget set, it is essential to set up an effective follow-up system. Most agencies literally lose 50% of their deals due to poor follow-up. Research shows that contacting leads within minutes can literally increase your conversion rates fourfold. So prompt follow-up is vital, right? If you want to convert 4 times more leads, just follow up with your leads within minutes. Okay, once you got your paid ads set up and your budget and they're profitable and they're predictable and you're following up, now we can expand into channel number 2, which is enterprise acquisition and partnerships. This is where we'll shift from one-to-one acquisition model to a one-to-many model. And this is where agencies can scale really fast. In fact, I had 4 partnerships, one of which was responsible for adding 6 figures in revenue in 1 month. The key to enterprise partnerships is identifying the right players in your niche. This can be companies, influencers, platforms, softwares, service providers, franchisors who already have access to the exact audience you serve, but don't overlap and compete directly with you. So think about software companies that your niche uses, consultants that serve that industry, franchise organizations, masterminds or coaches in that niche, or even large vendors and marketplaces where your clients already are buying from. The mistake that most agencies make is they reach out like every other agency to these partners. And they're like, hey, we're really great at marketing and we'd love to offer our service to your people at a discount. Let's partner up, right? Nobody cares and nobody wants you exploiting their audience. It just sounds like regular sales outreach. And big partners literally hear this 20 times a week, right? They don't want to waste their time with it. What works is you flip the script, right? Instead of approaching them like you want something, you approach them like you're coming to them with something. You come in as a partner who brings value, resources, and most importantly, money to the table. So you might reach out and say something like this: we have allocated a marketing budget specifically for partnerships this quarter, maybe $10,000 or $20,000, and we're looking for one strategic partner in the industry that we can collaborate with. I wanted to see if you had any sponsorship or co-marketing opportunities available. It positions you as someone who is serious, someone who invests, someone they want to actually work with. And once that door opens, the partnership can become a true win for both of you. From there, the goal is to create a repeatable partnership framework, not random deals, not one-offs, not let's see how this goes. A real enterprise partnership system includes all of the following: a clear structure for how partners introduce you to their audience, what value you provide in return, content, a workshop, funding, resources, whatever, a referral or revenue share agreement, if appropriate, right? Get this in place, and a simple, zero friction pathway that makes it easier for the partner to plug you in repeatedly. When you do this the right way, one partnership can produce dozens or even hundreds of deals. This is how you stack predictable paid ads with enterprise partnerships to build a pipeline that no other agency can compete with. And the most important part of this, you don't move to enterprise partnerships until you have paid ads consistently working for you. Paid ads gives you consistency. Partnerships give you scale. Together, they created a system that allowed me to generate 20 plus qualified sales calls every single week and ultimately scaled to multiple 7 figures. Most agency owners fail because they're trying to do everything when it comes to outreach and lead gen all at once. They're posting on LinkedIn, they're running ads inconsistently, they're testing cold cold email, they're trying organic content, and then we wonder why nothing is working. I scaled my agency to over $500,000 a month by mastering one thing first: paid ads. That was my foundation. That's what gave me predictable lead flow and consistent sales calls. Once I had that dialed in and running profitably, I added in enterprise level partnerships. Not 10 random channels, 2. And that combination took me from 0 to a 7-figure exit of that agency. So stop spreading yourself thin. Stop testing every shiny tactic. Master one channel first. Now, if you want help building this entire client acquisition system for you, for your agency, the ads, the funnel, the CRM, the follow-up, the partnership strategy, click the first link in the description to learn more.